Good morning, everyone. I am Dr.Nishi Priya from the School of Hotel Management and Catering Tourism, IIMT University, Meerut. I am here to present a topic from front office section. It is about the tariff structure. Students, you have learned about the various types of room rates and various types of rooms, right? So it is important to now understand the basis of room tariff charges. What is the charges basis we charge the room? Like whether it is 24 hours basis we charge one day room rate, or it is 12 noon basis we charge room rate. So that is what we are here to learn. Different hotels follows different policies while charging room tariff from their customers. Following are the important ways which is being charged. Okay, so 12 noon check-in check-out basis is one of those. It is most common, convenient for both hotel and guest, and check-in and check-out time. Mostly, commonly, hotels fix 12 noon as per check-in time and check-out time. That means 12 noon पर 12 बजे दोपहर को आपका check-in count होगा वहाँ से, और then 12 noon next day it will end for that one particular day rate. So this is one way of charging room rate. Wherein if you are check-in, for example, 6 o'clock morning, you will be charged extra for 6 to 12 noon, which you have stayed. So it will be calculated as per the hotel policies in another day of the charge, or the some extra or nominal charge will be paid by you for 6 to 12 noon, which you stayed extra. 12 noon, you need to check out the next day for one day room charges. If you extended your stay for 2 days, then it should be 12 noon to 12 noon, and then the next day of 12 noon to 12 noon. Then we have another basis of charges is 24-hour basis. 24-hour basis, some hotels that charge according to 24 hours basis. The time when the guest check-in becomes the checkout time for the guest. Like today, if the guest check-in by 6 o'clock morning, the guest needs to check out tomorrow 6 o'clock morning again. 6 to 6 morning is called as 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. is called as 24-hour basis. If the guest extended the stay till 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, then the extra charge as per the hotel policy will be paid more than one day rent. The guests are charged one day rent only when the guests have spent 24 hours or a part of 24 hours in the hotel. Hope it is easy to understand. Number of night basis. Now, one of the most common ways of charging the room rent is there are some hotels that charges the room rent on the basis of night spent in the hotel. If a guest spent one night, then he is charged for a day, and he spent 2 nights, then he is charged for 2 days. So it depends on the number of nights the guest stayed, and accordingly the number of days of the room rent increase. Then the fourth way of charging room rent is day use room rent. You might be knowing there are airline guests which is fly for purpose of one destination to another destination, and layover time period used to be there because of the reschedule of the flight or flight delayed or flight timings. Then the guest needs to stay for a few hours and they have to accommodate, that is a maximum 6 hours. Sometimes a guest wants to stay in a hotel for a few hours only, then they used to take the room rate as day use room rate, and the charge will be day use room rate. These guests are charged room rent on day basis, irrespective of check-in and check-out time, right? So these are the four ways which we can charge room rent on daily basis. First one is 12 noon, check-in, check-out. Second is 12 noon, check-in, check-out. Second is your 24-hour basis. Third is your number of nights basis. And the fourth is your day use rate. Now we need to understand how do we fix the room rate. If you see there is a room rooms variation of the room rates in the hotel in the city. You have 50 hotels. There is a room rates which is very fluctuating. Some have 5,000 per night, some have 2,000 per night, some have 10,000 per night. So why this fixation of the room rate is so much in variation? Because of the guest services and amenities and supplies, and though those are the important factor. But apart from that, to fix a room rate, to establish a room rate, or fixing a room tariff fixation is very important, and to be judged and done by hotel general managers around with the management of hotel. There are fixation ways are there, or approaches are there to fix the room rate. The first one is tariff. Yes, you should understand what is tariff. Tariff is a room rate only. TARIFF. Tariff is called as a room rate. It is a word which has come from foreign country. So tariff room rate only. Market-based pricing. Market-based pricing is setting a price based on values of a product and in perception of the customer. The concept is based on the idea of what the ultimate consumer or guest is prepared to pay and then use it as starting point. In this case, a hotel work backward as it is. First makes an accommodation product available at the price that a guest is willing to pay, and then it tries to cut down on the cost to achieving a reasonable rate of return on the basis. Some common methods of market-based pricing, as per competition, market tolerance, rate cutting. Rate cutting is nothing but lowering the rates to increase occupancy level. Market tolerance, checking competencies of hotel best available rate, that's called as bar for a room. These rates can be found out of the hotel by calling the competing hotels without disclosing their identity. Then you have as per competition, arriving at a price based on competition. Inclusive and non-inclusive rates, charging room rates on the basis of meals provided on CP, continental plan, modified American plan, American plan. Cost-based pricing is another way to establish room rate or room tariff. Cost-based pricing is a room rate, rent determined techniques that covers the basic cost of operations at a given level of service, plus predetermined percentage of investment. It involves the determination of total cost, fixed cost plus variable cost associated with the hotel. So where what we need to do here is we have to fix the total cost of the guest room, which is fixed cost and variable cost, and then come out in a conclusion or draw a conclusion of the room rate. Managers add a desired profit margin to each unit, such as 5 or 10% markup. The goal of the cost-oriented approach is to cover all costs incurred in production of delivering the products or services to achieve a targeted level of profit. So what is the selling price now for the cost-based pricing? Selling price is total cost plus fixed profit percentage. So now what is the fixed profit percentage? Which is fixed by the manager as a desired addition profit margin to each unit, right? So total cost, which is incurred by fixed cost plus variable cost plus fixed profit percentage, will be your selling price. So the merit is to this way of pricing is it's very simple method. You can see does not involve examining the market or considering the competition and other factors that might have an impact on pricing. Popular method as it uses internal information that managers can easily obtain. We have the third way, that is your following are the third way, which is used for fixing, establishing room rate. Rule of thumb approach and Hubbard formula. These are the very old methods, traditional methods we can say, which we are fixing from the very initial stage when the hotels and inns come into the growth and come into the picture, and then there is a requirement when we have to fix the room rate. Rule of thumb approach, what it says. Let's see what it says. Rule of thumb approach, oldest traditional methods of determining room rate of a hotel. The rule of thumb approach sets the rate of rooms at $1 for each $1,000 is spent of constructions furnishing cost per room, assuming 70% occupancy. For example, Hotel ABC incurs a total expenditure of 15 lakh in a room. The room rate will be 15,000. So per thousand is spent, what here it is said that per thousand spent is called as one to charge, rupees one to charge, rupees thousand is spent, rupees one should be charged. So per thousand, per one rupees to be charged. So that is what if it is 15 lakh of total charge, which is included constructions, furnishings, and total cost of the room, then assuming 70% occupancy, we need to charge 15 lakh, 15,000 for the room rate. This approach fails to consider the effect of inflation. This is very typical and oldest, and this is very straightforward, which is not influencing or taking addition of the very important points to consider, which is inflation. Inflation rate is needs to be incorporated when we have this kind of issues. So we need to have room rate fixed, not by straight formula based. We need to also see that what is the market condition going on, and the room rate accordingly to be fixed. So this approach fails after some time. It also fails to consider the contribution of other facilities and services towards the hotel desired profitability. So also it has failed. Consumer profile, it is important to keep in mind the social, financial, and status of the guest, paying capacity of the guest. We cannot have simply one formula and can charge 15,000 without knowing the guest paying capacity, without knowing the market trends, without knowing the occupancy, whether we are failing in occupancy and we need to sell the room accordingly. So it is required to see the guest coming in the hotel with which mind, which is very much required. Standard of services, while deciding the tariff of the room, standard of services should be kept in mind as the standard of services in the USP of the hotel and contributes towards profitability of the hotel. USP is unique selling point. When we have a standard of service fixed for the hotel, we have to decide the tariff of the rooms accordingly. Standard of service should be kept in mind when we are fixing the USP, unique selling point of the hotel, and contribute towards the profitability of the hotel. Higher standards of service, higher the room rate. There's the formula which is we have to must keep in mind. If we're giving a personalized service or a higher standard of service, quality service and products, we have to have the room rates higher accordingly. Hubbard's formula, we will wind up from here, and we'll start another session of the class with the Hubbard formula, because it is another big topic itself. So here I would like to thank you for listening patiently. Thank you, students.